Okay, wait, hang on. Hear me out. I know this review's coming kinda late, but I've been very busy the past few days filming stuff and getting stuff done for a short film I'm working on and just doing stuff in general. So I haven't been able to sit down and record the review for the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, so I'm sorry. That being said, it's given me plenty of time to think about this movie and how much I kinda didn't like it. What's up guys, I'm jacobtsuggs and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. I think I said that right, that is a mouthful. And in this movie, Jack Sparrow has to find the Trident of Poseidon to break the curses of the sea, and also has to avoid Captain Salazar, the Spanish ghost pirate that's hunting him down. And there's a ton of other stuff that happens in this movie too, but like I said, I try to keep these reviews sort of vague so you can kind of get the gist of what I'm saying, but if you want to watch the movie, you can still do that and be perfectly fine. So don't worry, spoiler free, if you really care. Now, everybody saw these incredible trailers that came out for this movie, and even the Pirates naysayers were like, maybe they fixed it, maybe they got it right. And I myself, who loves the first 3 Pirates films and doesn't really like On Stranger Tides, went to go see this movie, sat down, really hopeful and really optimistic, only to see a very mediocre movie. This movie isn't bad, this movie isn't very good, it's just okay. Honestly, it's the most okay movie I've seen all year. Meaning, if you wanted to watch a movie Memorial Day weekend, or I guess now any other weekend with your friends, this is probably the movie to do that with. But if you're looking for a Pirates film as good as the first one, or even the first 3, I don't know if you're gonna get that. I do want to talk about some stuff that I liked in this movie though first, because this review is going to be primarily kind of negative, not entirely negative, but negative enough. So what did I like about Dead Men Tell No Tales? Well, I really like the action scenes. And I've kind of come to expect that from a Pirates of the Caribbean flick, to where you just have 2 pirate ships just shooting at each other. That's pretty cool to watch. But this movie suffers from the same issues that the 4th Pirates movie had, and by this point, although I'm optimistic for sequels, I feel like we're now in the stages to where each film is going to get progressively worse. I mean, there are good things in this movie. There's a scene where Jack Sparrow's on a guillotine and the crew is trying to save him. Stuff like that feels like Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's really awesome to see. But then you have stuff like Jack Sparrow robbing a bank, and then horses somehow manage to grab the whole building and drag the whole building down the street of like a harbor. That sounds stupid coming out of my mouth because it was stupid seeing it on screen. It was an action scene that was trying to be piratesy and fun, but didn't really work out in the movie's favor. And unfortunately, that's kind of what weighs down this movie. Pirates 4 On Stranger Tides was a movie that had an interesting premise but never really went anywhere with that premise. This movie goes places and it does things and it kind of brings you back a little bit to this world, but the story isn't as interesting. Once again, it feels like another side quest in the midst of this really big, expansive world that we once kind of loved. Even Johnny Depp in this movie felt different to me. Jack Sparrow felt really silly in this movie, and there's some weird stuff that happens in this movie with Jack Sparrow, and some stuff that his character does that really didn't feel like something Jack Sparrow would do. Like, I know Jack Sparrow loves to drink, but would he really give up his compass for a bottle of rum? I don't think so. And then he wakes up in one scene and just yells "Spaghetti Wolves," which made no sense. It was just trying to be funny and it made no sense at all and nobody really laughed. Walt Disney Pictures keeps trying to push Jack Sparrow as the center of attention when Jack Sparrow isn't the center of attention. And unfortunately that bogs down his character and makes his character less interesting. My main concern with this is they don't want to try anything new with Jack Sparrow. He's just got to be silly and witty and fun. We can't really explore his backstory. And even when we do, it's a flashback in the middle of the movie, which is completely out of context, and it's from the villain's perspective. That makes Salazar more interesting, but not necessarily Jack Sparrow. And it totally screws up some continuity, like how Jack Sparrow got his compass, but I'm kinda going off. Like, who gives a crap where Jack Sparrow got his clothes? I don't. Let's talk about our villain, Captain Salazar. This guy is interesting, and he's an interesting concept for a villain. But I've said it once and I'll say it again. How many times can you have a ghost pirate as a villain? You had Barbossa, you had Davy Jones, you had Cutler Beckett, you had Blackbeard, and now you're having another quote-unquote big villain that's a ghost pirate. And unfortunately, he talks with this really thick Spanish accent, and so it's kind of hard to take him seriously and kind of make out some stuff that he's saying at certain points in the movie. But overall, I thought he was a cool villain that didn't have enough screen time. And then you have Henry and Karina, who are kind of like the new Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner respectively. And these people are as wooden as a plank. They have no sense of emotion. Their acting was honestly really bad if you're asking me. Like, I'm talking like Anakin Padme kind of bad. Very, very wooden. And whenever I hear acting like that, I just can't get invested with your character because your acting's bad. I mean, Henry Turner is an interesting character because he's related to Will and Elizabeth Turner, but if he wasn't, I don't think I'd be as invested in his character as I am now. And even then, why does everybody or everything have to be related to someone or something else that's already been introduced in the series? Frankly, to me, that's kinda lazy. In all honesty, they're as bad as Christian Guy and Mermaid Girl from the last movie. I don't even know their names. Even the score for this movie, Hans Zimmer did not score this movie, and it's just very bleh. Action scenes have kind of like generic Pirates music playing in the background that we've heard before, but nothing really stood out to me about the soundtrack. And before you're like, well, whatever, just remember that the previous Pirates films had really good scores, even on Stranger Tides, which I didn't really like. The ending of this movie is honestly pretty good, and I've been looking forward to talking about that because it's kind of what turned the movie from completely bad into mediocre for me. The ending ties up everything really nicely. It's really satisfying to see some stuff happen towards the ending of this film, but that's the third act and ending of this film. You have to sit through like 2.5, almost 3 hours of Pirates just exposition and bad acting to get to a really fun climax and conclusion, and I don't know if it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. The ending is great, the action's really fun, but I can't forgive the hour that I sat through beforehand just for the sake of the ending being really fun. And there's even a post-credits scene that makes zero sense to me. I don't know how they would bring back a certain character that they're teasing to bring back in future installments, but I just don't know how that would work. In all honesty, I think it's just Disney saying, hey, remember that guy? Remember how you thought he was cool? Well, guess who's coming back? That guy, because you've seen him before. Okay, look, I think this movie's alright. I don't think it's bad or as negative as I'm coming off to be. I just think that this movie had me kind of optimistic about a different kind of Pirates film, but instead I just got something a little bit better than On Stranger Tides. And that's not what I was expecting, so I'm not mad and I'm not trying to be negative. If anything, I'm just crucially disappointed. I don't like to give movies scores, but I gave On Stranger Tides a 6. I'd probably give this one a 6.5, but I don't know if that means that you should actually go out and see it. So what did you think of Pirates of the Caribbean? Dead Men Tell No Tales. Did you love it? Did you not like it? Or are you kind of in the middle of the road like me? I don't know. Just let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I'm FrameByFrame. Remember the name. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next FrameByFrame film review. Bye, guys.